Welcome to Power Your Story.
Produced by students at After School Matters with production support from the Creative Impostor Studios.
Enjoy the show.
Hello, I am Andrea Klunder, Program Director for Power Your Story podcast. Today, I'm happy to share with you this episode about Mindfulness and the Law of Attraction, produced last summer by Hysan and May. Since May is Mental Health Awareness Month, we thought this would be a great time to share this conversation with you. Hysan and May wanted to share stories of their personal experiences with mindfulness and the law of attraction, and some ideas for practices that we can all try to help us live happier, more fulfilling lives. Enjoy the episode.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Power Your Story podcast. Today's episode, we will be talking about mindfulness and the law of attraction. Today, the co-hosts are May, aka me, and Hysan.
Alright, first, do you know what mindfulness is? Do you practice it? Do you
I don't.
use it in meditation or anything?
I don't really meditate.
So mindfulness is basically, this is just the Google definition. The quality or state of being conscious or aware of something. And that something could be literally anything. Most of the time through meditation, it's like being mindful of how you're feeling and what you're thinking. Some people call it like watching your thoughts because you aren't like judging them, but you're like being aware of them. That's like mindfulness meditation. But aside from that, what does it do? It keeps awareness in the present and the right now, taking away the stress and the fear of the past and the future. A good way to think of it is like multitasking. Like people say like you can't multitask or something like that. If you're thinking about how you're writing using this pencil and what you're writing about, you're not going to be thinking about something in the past that happened like 3 years ago that you're still thinking about, stuff like that. It's like keeping your awareness at certain points in certain places. It is pretty cool, actually.
Do you meditate?
Yeah, I do meditate. I actually have a story about that. I did like mindfulness meditation. That I had like the best dream I've ever had in my life, bro. I don't even know what the dream is about anymore. But like, it was good, bro. Just know that it was good.
That's cool. I'm gonna start doing some meditations.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Something that I really wanted to talk about was how this is important for like addiction. There's a book that I like read. It's called Who Would Cry When You Die. I really recommend it. In the book, it says the first step to eliminating a negative habit is to become aware of it. Once you develop an awareness about the behavior you're trying to change, you'll be well on your way to replacing it with the one that is more helpful. And I really resonated with that because it's like kind of talking about mindfulness. It's like being aware of something that you want to change. So the example that I thought of was like smoking. Like I don't smoke or anything, but like people who smoke, it's like an addiction for them. Like they have smoke breaks at work, they have smoke breaks like at home. It's like being aware first, or to get more aware, you must first realize like how many times you do it. So like counting how many times you crave smoking or how many times you actually go smoke, and then make changes from there to say, hey, is this an addiction or is this just something else? But the thing that I want to note is that our minds automatically make excuses for ourselves. Like, I don't really know how to explain that furthermore. You just make excuses. I don't know if you've ever dealt with that, but I know that I have, and I know other people that have. You just try to give a reason for something that you're doing. I think it's like a natural response where we just want to explain why we do something or have a reasoning for something so another person could understand better, I guess.
Wait, can I say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I wake up super early like every day. If I want to wake up like at 9, but I end up waking up like at 1 p.m. And I feel like sometimes we do make excuses for ourselves. Like we notice it and we're like, oh, it's okay, I'll wake up early tomorrow. But we never actually do. Yeah, we always make excuses for ourselves.
Something else that I noticed with mindfulness is when you're aware of the right now, you're not worried about like the next day. Something that I actually practice myself. It's like live every day to the fullest of how you want to live it so that if you are not here the next day, you don't regret anything. If I were to become super ill like tomorrow, I wouldn't know that until the next day. So right now, live to the best that you can right now, but you live life to how you want to. And it's not commit a bunch of crimes and say
Yeah.
that's living. It's like people have different definitions of living their best life. It could be being happy, it could be being peaceful, it could be,
Traveling.
yeah, it could be stuff like that. It's just chilling. It's like individual. I think with a lot of stuff, it's a lot of things that are individual. And I think mindfulness is something that it's more of an individual thing that you can work on. It's just something for you. It's something that helps you care better for yourself. With mindfulness, there also comes mindlessness. It's doing things without thinking through. Being mindful is like being aware and like thinking something through, I guess you could say. And mindlessness is like the opposite of that. An example could be scrolling on TikTok, then wondering where 2 hours of your day went. That would be like a mindless behavior because you're just doing it.
I do that like every day, I think. So.
Yeah. The benefits of actually doing it is like gives you a sense of better concentration and like better awareness of yourself. Because if you're looking at yourself, looking at what you think throughout your day, sometimes you can just figure out where things happen, what you're around. For example, with people that get really anxious, like in crowds, acknowledging that you get anxious in those crowds and then being able to prevent yourself from doing that. It's like a mindful act because you're aware that this could cause a reaction with you. It's like with mindlessness, you're just kind of on autopilot, is how I like to think of it. You aren't really paying attention. An example that I actually seen was like eating while you're doing something else. There's actually a such thing as mindful eating, bro. It's like you're just really indulged in like the taste, the texture, everything that you're doing while you're eating. Have you ever heard of like eating slowly makes you more full?
Yes, and it's true.
It actually is like making yourself eat it slow. Cause like me, I've tried to do that and I'll just start like going crazy on the food because it's difficult for me to do.
No, because I've heard about it and like after like chewing slowly, I'm like, oh.
It's like things like just, I feel like once you become more mindful of what you're doing, you just become more aware and into your life. It like grounds you in a way. Do you do yoga or anything like that?
I do. I love yoga.
It's really cool. I did some root chakra yoga. I don't know if you know anything about the chakras. I did some root chakra yoga and it actually really put me in my body because it was like visualizations with it as well. And it was really cool.
I remember I did root chakra yoga and I just felt like I was levitating, to be honest.
I never even knew what the feeling of being grounded was exactly until I was watching a video. So I was like staring up while I'm like in this yoga pose at the TV. And like she was like, when you're feeling calm, when you're just feeling well, honestly, that's the feeling of being grounded. She was like, you're grounded now. I'm like, what? I'm grounded. So I looked it up. Bro, I never knew that. Like actually, I never knew that.
What?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting. I think mindfulness also helps with overthinking as well. Like for me, sometimes I think a lot about stuff. And people have the perception that overthinking is always bad, but it's not always the worst thing. It could also be good in some way. It's like thinking about how you can advance yourself, thinking about that a lot can form new ideas, boost you in creativity. But when you're just sitting there and it takes a negative toll on your mind and you're just having a bunch of negative thoughts and they're backing up onto each other, it can be really stressful. And for me, I always think that everything is mental. For example, if someone tells you you're ugly or your hair looks bad, it may provoke a emotion within you and a reaction, like in an emotional way. And it can make you sad. And that's like processing that through your mind to then perform a chemical within your emotions or within your body to make you feel that. And I think that's actually really cool, but also it can really mess with you. Being mindful of other people is also important as well. It's like being aware of other situations, just other people in general. There was this time where I was just walking, going to the bus. This lady stopped me and she said it was her and her kid and they were homeless and just needed food or something. And she like asked if I had anything. And I was like, nah, because I don't even carry money or change, cash, basically. And I was like, dang. But even that, it's like a mindful act because I'm not just one of those people to just walk away when you're talking to me or like trying to get my attention. I'm going to listen to you because I think everybody should be listened to, at least in some form. Even something like that, it's really simple, but it's still a mindful act. And I think a lot of things can be implemented in a way like that, where it can boost your life in some way and boost another person's life.
I feel like you have persuaded me to try to be more mindful every day. And I want to try mindfulness meditations now. So, you obviously know so much about mindfulness. So, do you know anything about what the law of attraction is?
I've heard a little bit about it. Does manifesting go into it? Is that why it works?
It's somewhat. I feel like everything just ties together with it, to be honest. The law of attraction, by definition on Google, means a spiritual belief that positive or negative emotions or ideas bring positive or negative experiences into a person's life. I like to use real life situations to think about the law of attraction whenever I'm explaining it to someone. I usually use the house example. Do you ever like create scenarios in your head and it like comes to like real life and you're like, huh? What? How did this happen? So you imagine yourself in a scenario and you just see yourself deeply in that scenario that it becomes reality. So the law of attraction plays a part into it. Basically, the house example is imagine yourself imagining yourself in a scenario where you buy yourself a house. You have this huge house, 5 rooms, 3 bathrooms, and a huge pool. And so you're positive about it. You're like, oh my God, I'm gonna get this house. And if I work hard enough every day and I get enough money and I'm positive about it, I'm getting this house. Every day after work, you begin to imagine yourself inside of this big house, like roaming the halls, sleeping in your bedroom, just living in this mansion, laying by the pool, just chilling. And so every day since you've been positive about it, one day you find yourself actually buying that house. And you're like, oh my God, this is the moment I've actually been waiting for this. Everything just happened because you've been positive. However, if you thought about getting this house way back then in the past, but you were negative about it, you're like, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna get this house. My job doesn't pay me much. How am I gonna get through this? You tell everybody that, and you're basically manifesting negative energy for yourself. And you don't find yourself getting that house in the future. So that's basically how the law of attraction works. You think positively, positive things happen in your life, positive people, you get a new car, happy family members. If you think negatively, negative things are going to happen in your life, like no house, no car, negative friends, negative family members, and all of that. So it's basically all in your mind. Everything you say attracts itself. That is a law of attraction.
That's actually really interesting. It actually really does remind me of manifestation. Yeah, manifesting. Kind of a mental process where you're like living and breathing that thing that you want. For example, if you want a car, or like actually your example, you were talking about the house, thinking about this every day, it's on your mind, it's staying there. It kind of like forces you to work towards it in a way. And I think that law of attraction is actually really powerful. And I think it's actually really cool. I actually knew it. I just didn't know that was the name of it. So I'm glad that I got to know the name of it.
Yeah, like if you're positive about something that you really, really want, then obviously you're going to get it, and more positive things are gonna get to you if you're positive about it, If you go to a party and you're super negative about it, like, I don't want to go, and something like that, you're never gonna feel good in that party. If you put your negative intentions towards something, it's obviously going to be negative.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. You were going to talk about the pros and cons.
The pros and cons, I kind of already said them. One of the pros is if you are positive, then good things are going to go to you. If you're negative, that's the con. Negative things are going to go towards you. So those are the pros and cons. I'm pretty sure you heard this everywhere, like be positive. It's true. We've all known like what it is, but some people don't believe it.
The thing with taking another person's opinion and then having that hit your emotions, I kind of think of it the same way. If you're trying your best to be positive, doing your thing, and then like a car hits your car, it's like a person that is going for that positivity, they're gonna probably look at that as, hey, I probably just didn't need the car, bro.
And if you're negative about it, you're gonna be like, I have to pay this and this and this, and even more bad things that are gonna go to your life.
Exactly. Then it changes it to negative. I think a lot of people that don't believe in it have that effect on life. You wake up, you're like, oh man, I gotta go to work today. It's not like, it's a new chance to make some more money, to go towards whatever I want to go towards. It's like, if you're looking at it in a negative way, like you said, it's gonna come out to a negative outcome. For me personally, I think positive and negative are just perspectives of what you want to believe. An example of that could be like, I can look at, even with a car, it's like, I can look at that as positive. Hey, I don't need that car, bro.
That's what happens, and many people that don't believe in the law of attraction, they're always negative. I feel like I've seen it happen a lot where you go to school and you imagine yourself having such a good first day of school, and it turns out really great and you get to see all your friends. But if you're negative, you're gonna forget your notebook, everything. I just feel like that's the effects. But some people, like a lot of people, don't believe in it. You know, like crystals?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't believe in crystals. I have a full box of crystals. That's for another episode. A lot of people don't believe in stuff like that. And I feel like it's just based on your spiritual beliefs. Some people don't believe in God and stuff like that.
I think everything goes back to mental. What you believe in or what you turn your awareness to, you can attract it, or you like put your energies into it. For example, I'm trying to like build a PC. I look at this PC every day. I'm like, you know what? I need more, bro. I need to finish it. And then I'm like attracting more towards it because I want it and I'm putting my energy towards it. I think it's the same thing with beliefs. There's like people that judge beliefs and it's just what you're putting your energy into. Whatever, bro. That's your stuff. With crystals, me personally, I think they all have their own unique energy. Even if they're from the same type of crystal or the same type of crystal, I think it all holds different things. And I think they all have different ways of working with your energy. That's why certain crystals don't resonate with some people and certain crystals do. It's all about energy to me. With crystals, a lot of people don't believe in it because they don't see the benefits that another person has gotten from it.
They
And
just
it's
see
like,
it as a rock.
yeah, people have literally called my crystals rocks.
Like, stop playing with my rose quartz.
Right?
Come on.
My rose quartz, bro. This ain't no rock. Does
Ugh.
this look like a
Yeah.
rock to you?
I feel like having a positive mindset helps with anything in life.
Mhm.
So that's why I'm a big believer in the law of attraction.
One of my goals in life is actually to inspire people, really like helping people, advice, whatever. Any way that I can help somebody, I like doing it. I'll give like an example. If I only did something for the benefit of myself, doing it only because you think that you can get something positive out of it. In some cases, I don't think it's the worst thing.
Yeah.
It takes away that genuine aspect of it. And it kind of makes it more about you when you're trying to help somebody else. And then you're not doing it out of the kindness of your heart. You're not doing it because you really want to do it. You're doing it because you want something in return. I always thought of that as really weird because I think it's just because of the way that I was taught. Even at the lunch table when I was like younger, they'll like give you like a snack. They're like, hey, listen, bro, you're going to have to pay me back later. I'm just saying. Like you bring some chips the next day, they like have their hands out. It reminds me of something like that. You're not doing it because you really want to do it. You're doing it because you're going to get something back from it.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
How can mindfulness work together with the law of attraction?
I think it really can work together with the law of attraction. Back to the house thing, saying, I want to have this house. It's an example of how it could be mindfulness. For example, mindful meditation. If you were to meditate, watch your thoughts and then guide them towards that house again. You're like, hey, I really want this house. I'm going to meditate on it. I'm going to just think about this house. And people have the perception that meditation is super hard. Meditation is really what you make it to be. With the law of attraction, I think when you're mindful of what you want, mindful of the thoughts that you have towards the thing that you want, it can attract it probably faster. If you want this house, but then deep down you notice that your thoughts are like, I'm probably not going to get this house, even though you consciously are like, I want this house, bro. It could probably have a downplay on the effect of the law of attraction. And it's probably why some people don't have the results that they want. I usually think about mindfulness. If it's with the law of attraction, I think about it as in watching your thoughts. Energy wise, when you're thinking certain things, it could have an effect on something else.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, well, this is the mindfulness episode. I hope you enjoyed. It's been your two hosts, Hysan and May. Please stay tuned for the next one.
Power Your Story podcast is produced by students at After School Matters with production support from the Creative Impostor Studios.
Find us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook at Power Your Story Podcast.
Got a question or suggestion for our show? Contact us at poweryourstorypodcast.com. Thank you for listening and have a great day.